really?
Yeah, my phone really.
Silence that damn thing, please. You know what? Look at me not being ahead of the curve. Yes, pun intended. My phone's not even silenced either. Anyway, so this hangout is going to be a little bit earlier than anticipated because unfortunately decisions have been made already, and I gotta do what I gotta do, and this is going to be one of the most hated videos on my channel, probably in all of history. My hope is that, you know, eventually it'll get taken down and this will all be a fucking nightmare I will wake up from, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it is that way. To be clear, I am not alone. I have Shawn Hufford with me.
Hello.
And I also have Jared with me, who is muted right now, but can talk whenever the fuck he wants.
Evening.
All right. So basically, some things are being said for the purposes of a GoFundMe that was not Shawn's. I want to make that very clear. We did not have a GoFundMe for Shawn Hufford, and none of this has anything to do with the donations that were for Shawn Hufford. Nothing whatsoever. So I don't want people to get confused about which GoFundMe I'm talking about. So the GoFundMe that I'm talking about was a GoFundMe for Vincent Jones. You all know him better as my roommate, or he was my roommate until I moved the fuck out. And a lot of shit has been said on, you know, either on the GoFundMe or about the GoFundMe on other people's private G pluses, or not private, public, because anyone,
G pluses.
Yeah, public posts that anyone can go to their G pluses, their G plus hangout, not hangout, page and see. And they're all not true. And if you have been watching my channel for a while, it is very easy to connect those dots, as the Holy Spackle conveniently demonstrated for us. It helps makes our point. So I do want to say thank you, Holy Spackle. You don't know this, but you've actually helped us out quite a bit. So just to kind of get into it, and like I said, I'm going to apologize for the Drama Llama here. I know the Drama Llama is going to be singing up a tune. That's your cue, 13. And it's shit. It really is shit. Let's see.
Sure.
Yeah. So here's basically what's going on. A while ago, I was a roommate for Vincent Jones. Vincent Jones had a little bit of financial issues, and I understand that was a bit of a hurdle that we would have to work through, and that would always be a thing, but I figure with the two of us working together along with his third roommate, that it would be, you know, pretty amazing if I was a roommate with him. I hated my previous job back in Tampa, absolutely despised it. So I made the decision to work where he worked. So I applied, got the interview. For some reason, I got the job. I know I'm just as surprised as you guys are with this hideously ugly face. And I started working.
Do you mind if I type under your name under the hangout?
By the way, guys, as you see typing happening, that's not me typing. That'll be Shawn Hufford typing in the background. So just a bit of clarity on that. So after the move happened, we started, you know, I started paying rent, but it was clear that that something was amiss. Finances were still not being met or paid or whatever. There is a rumor going around that I want to fucking squash, and that is that I am the reason, or part of the reason, why Vincent Jones is having financial troubles right now. I don't wish anything bad on Vincent Jones. You will not hear that come out of my lips, ever. I wish nothing bad on Vincent Jones. I wish him nothing but the best. I just could not live with that guy because he violated my trust, and I am not going to go into details there. But Shawn, I don't want you to screen share anything. If people want screen shares, they can, or screen scrapes, they can message me in private for them. But please bring up the one comment that started this whole thing from that one individual that will not be named.
Let me pull it up so I'm not accused of misquoting it.
Thank you.
Okay. This comment goes as follows. It was posted 2 days ago. Quote, he allowed a member of the community to move in with him to help him find work and go to school.
By he, we mean Vincent
We're talking
Jones.
about Vincent Jones.
And for the guy that he allowed to move in, we're talking about me.
Correct.
Cool.
That person did not pay rent on time. Vincent had to take out a loan and fight with his bank in order to pay rent on time for the few months the guy lived there. On top of that, he would pay other costs the guy incurred through his time there. Because of this, Vince has fallen into a perpetual cycle of debt where he cannot get ahead in his rent due to having to pay off interest on late fees and overdraft fees over the months of the roommate's portion of the rent always being late. He barely made rent yesterday if myself and members of the community did not reach out to him in a private and pay the money the roommate didn't pay on time for rent. The roommate moved out less than a week before rent was due and still to the time of this post has not paid his portion. Vince has had to turn off certain utilities and sell his car in order to keep a roof over his head. End quote.
Thank you. So bring up the Hangout, please.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Okay, so this okay, right there. Sorry, his mic's on the boom. So basically, there is accusations going on, and I'm just going to go ahead and come out and say it. In case you've been living under a rock, they're talking about me. They're talking about my supposed inability to pay rent and basically painting me as a freeloader. And because I was this supposed freeloader, Vince had to do a bit of financial backflipping and also sell his car in order to make ends meet. I want to let you know that 100% of that post is a fucking lie. That's not what happened at all. So to be clear, I paid rent and I have my PayPal up to basically demonstrate this. And I have screenshots of this too. But again, you're going to have to ask me in private for these screenshots because that's the only way you're going to get them. Rent was set to be $250 a month. And my first, rent or my payment to all of this shit was, the month after I had lived there. So I would live there, pay rent, and then keep going again. So my first payment to Vince was on, I believe, in March. So I moved in February, I believe.
Yep.
So I moved in at the very beginning of February. So I waited that, and that was March 4th was my first payment to Vincent Jones, $250. It was at that point that Vince told me that he didn't actually have enough money, so I actually paid more than double rent for that month. That's something Vincent Jones did not tell you guys. So this guy that does not pay rent paid double rent on March 4th of an amount of $250, and then March 9th of $265, technically paying for last month's rent and a little bit more on top of that by about $15 even. After that, my next payment to Vincent Jones was on April 7th, again, $250, as we had previously agreed. He had no issues with the timing of the payment. If anything, he even apologized to me because he forgot to remind me, because I can be a forgetful fuck at times when it comes to these things. But I had the money, and it was no issue. I paid him through PayPal, and he got $250 on April 7th. Before I moved out, I spoke to his other roommate. I'm not sure how much names I gotta go or people know his other name, but we'll just refer to this other guy as Vince's other roommate who is still there. So after I had, or I should say before I moved out, I got in contact with Vince's other roommate and we had a long conversation. After telling him of my plans of moving out and apologizing to him profusely, I said, even though I am not living here, I will still pay rent on the 9th. So after I paid rent on the, oh, hang on, typing is, I'll let you finish. Perfect. So after I moved out on my own dime. Vince did not have to pay for anything. I cleaned out my shit and that was the end of it. And I told Vince's other roommate that he will get, or either him or Vincent will get $250. That's full rent, even though I haven't been living there, just to kind of make sure I am caught up on my end of the bargain, make sure I'm caught up on my end of the finances. If you do the math, I paid more than what I used to Vince. And Vince is telling people that I'm not paying rent or I'm not paying rent on time. He was the one that would tell me when rent was due. I tell him to remind me, and he would either forget, and it would go like maybe 1 or 2 days, but it didn't seem to bother him all that much, because when he told me, go, hey, do you mind if you pay me some rent? Cool. Got on PayPal, paid it. He got his $250. I thought all was well and good. There was no financial burden there. So if you're reading rhetoric out there that says that I was not paying rent, or that I was late on rent, or that I did not pay enough rent from Vincent Jones, that is a fucking lie. That is a fucking lie. And I think if that is the rhetoric that was going on, or that was the rhetoric that was going around, to anyone that heard it, I think the people who spouted that lie, quite frankly, owe you guys an apology. That's the end of it right there. They quite frankly owe you guys an apology for lying like that. There was also word that Vince had to sell his car to make ends meet, and it was this again ties into me driving up the bills so much that the car had to be sold to make ends meet. That car was going to be gone anyway. That car literally stayed underneath a tree and wasn't being used. It wasn't being used at all. I'm going to pause while Shawn types. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you, Shawn. So that car was not being used, and that car was going to be gone anyway, whether I moved or not. Keep in mind that the only transportation that we were using to get to and from work was my car. We were using my 2015 Chevrolet Cruze. This was before the fucking pig incident happened. And then after that, we were using my new car, which is now a 2018 Chevrolet Spark. And we were using that to get back and forth to work. And so because we were using that to get back and forth to work, I'm going to wait till Shawn finishes. Things need to be addressed in real time. And after this, I'm going to let Shawn say stuff, and then I'll let Jared say stuff as well. So since we were using my car to get to and from work, he didn't actually need that car, and he was in the negative with it anyway. So Vince, I think rather rationally, decided, you know what, I'm not using this piece of shit, so might as well just give it back to whoever I still owe money to. They can keep the car, sell it, and I'll just wash it clean. Either that or take the credit score hit. I don't know what his credit score is, but basically just take the hit and let that be that. So that was never an issue with Vince before, but now he was listing it as an issue as to why he needs a GoFundMe page, that he had to sell his car to make ends meet. No, that car was going to be gone regardless because Vince didn't want to make payments on it. And plus, it was kind of a piece of shit anyway, and it didn't run right. I wouldn't trust anybody to drive that car. So it was going to go regardless. So if Vince was listing that as a reason why he was needing a GoFundMe or whatever, that was a lie. And I apologize to those people that he has been lied to, or that you've been lied by him. So all of this stuff coming up, basically painting me like I'm the reason why shit went down. There's one more thing I want to kind of nip in the butt, and that was the assertion of food. Food always need to be in the fridge or whatever, and stuff like that. Most of the times we had a very shit diet, and that meant going out to eat. I never went shopping. I know that we went shopping before, and if I remember correctly, some of those trips were on my plastic, not his. So I did my part as far as I could see fit. And I did even more because I bought food that I quite frankly didn't like and didn't fucking eat. And it sat in the fridge just to spoil. And I ate my stuff, and that was that. And so when it comes to food, they were basically responsible for paying for their own shit. Sometimes I would buy them a burger, like at McDonald's or Burger King or some shitty fast food place, and then they would buy me stuff. I thought we had a mutual understanding of how food was supposed to be distributed with our two paychecks. So make no mistake, I did everything right as a roommate. I would go as far as to say I was one of the best roommates out there. I did my due diligence. I paid my fair share. I held up my end of the deal. And I could go into a lot more detail, which I may or may not, depending. But the first thing I want to make sure that is, clear is that I'm not alone in seeing this pattern of behavior. Which is why I have people backing me up who are actually there to see everything unfold in real time. So keep in mind, I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what's going to be said or not said or whatever. I'm not dictating what they're saying. I'm just going to give them the mic, whatever is said and said. So, Shawn, you have the floor. I know there's some things you want to reply to.
Okay. Mr. Holy Spackle, I'm going to address something that you've been accusing Red of for the last few hours. You said that he removed somebody from you're accusing Red of removing somebody from the GDC and removing their posts. Red has been at my home since Tuesday of last week. He has avoided the GDC this entire time to spend time with me because of my dad's funeral. He's avoided it entirely. The only reason why we found out about Vincent Jones' post today, where you actually replied,
is this Rocket Boy?
When you actually accused him as being Rocket Boy, when they were talking about was it King referring to Steve that deleted this account and the messages? No, we found out because I got the G+ notification saying that Vincent put a post up. So I looked at it. And when he kept on referring to the car crash in the post, I let Red know what he said. So no, Red had nothing to do with that person being removed from the GDC. Red had nothing to do with posts being removed. Just to clear that up. Scientist Sam, I'm going to address you now. Red has never, as far as I know, Red has never just walked around his house with a gun. He keeps it locked up in his cabinet. So I don't know where you're getting that information from, but it is clearly wrong. I'm tired of people who, we live in a debunking community. We debunk people's bullshit. And I don't care who it is. If they're doing bullshit, I'm going to call them out on it.
Let me
some of us actually have an honesty complex. If you actually cared about the truth, you would actually want to hear all sides of the story instead of just listening to one and saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to believe whatever this one person says without evidence.
Here we go. Here's the thing about this, is that I want to make it painfully clear that none of this bullshit has any. Okay, I said I wouldn't say it. I said I wouldn't say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Unless you've been living under a rock, or if you just don't give enough of a shit, myself and Hannah are broken up. It was a really bad breakup, and I have struggled with it. I accept that. However, none of that influences this hangout. If other people want to go ahead and bring up irrelevancies like that, that is on them. But I'm not talking about it here. My beef is strictly with the lies that have been said about when I was a roommate with Vincent Jones and why Vincent Jones is in the situation that he's in. I cannot put into words how pissed off I was when I heard that my name was being dragged through the mud in that way. And keep in mind that when I was moving out and when I went my own way, I cut ties with everybody and I try to avoid shit as much as I can. But if my name is being dragged through the mud in such a way that people who I would call my friends would easily know who is being talked about, then that is pretty fucked up in my view. That is pretty fucked up. And I have every right to call that out. I am probably going to lose a lot of friends over clearing the air. I already know that. And I'm sorry. I really am fucking sorry I have to do this. But I've been trying to be a good little boy, you know, keeping quiet, doing my own things, traveling to fucking Indiana past the time of the funeral so that I can try and hang out with Shawn Hufford so we can have some fun. I was posting, you know, shit on my G+.
Do you want to address Sam here? He's saying all he had is your unreliable testimony. I think they need evidence.
Sam, you can message me privately and you can go ahead and get the evidence that way. But I have a question for you, Sam. Once you see the evidence that I paid more than my fair share, will you make a public apology? Will you apologize to me and be a fucking man about it? Message me privately and I'll send you the fucking screenshots. Sick of this shit. Anyway, with everything being done and with everything that I posted on the G+, it was clear what I was doing. I was busy flying drones, putting P900s on top of fucking sand dunes, video coming shortly, and enjoying time away from Florida. Hate to say it, but Florida has much better roads. And I'm sort of missing it now. And I've been trying to get away from drama, but drama keeps finding me somehow. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to allow bullshit to be said about me. And I'm not allowed to being, I'm not going to correct it or something like that.
Sam says you have a reputation for being unreliable.
Well, cool. I have a reputation for being unreliable. Sounds good. And so, read what Phyllis said. Red didn't
remove Hannah from the GDC. You didn't.
Yeah, I didn't.
We didn't find out about it until after it happened, and I'm the one that found out about it and told Red.
Yeah. Excuse me. So the fact is that there might be another one coming up, so I apologize in advance.
And just for clarity, I'm not a mod in the GDC, so I didn't remove her before that comes up.
I am a mod in the GDC, and I'm telling you this right now. I have no fucking clue who removed her or why.
And well, here's the thing, just to clarify, do you or do you not have Hannah blocked on pretty much every means except for a direct phone call?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So even if Red was active with the GDC today, he would have never seen her posts.
I'm not even on Twitter, and I fucking blocked her on Twitter. Like, what the fuck? So like, it's like, bleh. Anyway, whatever.
But as far as to answer that, we don't know who did.
We don't know who did, and quite frankly, I don't care. And listen, if Vince wants to go ahead and have a fundraiser, then that's fine. You know, I understand the dude's having some tough times, and I wish him nothing but the best, but you can do it through honest means. Be honest and actually tell people the actual fucking story. All right? So I'm trying to, you know, be as vague as possible here. But you guys got to understand, Vince is not the best with money, and he will even admit to that. And there was a few things that were done that kind of put him in the position that he's in right now. It wasn't because I didn't pay rent. It wasn't because I was skimping or, you know, ripping him off or whatever word or phrase you wish to use to describe it. Nothing like that. I paid my fair share. Vince did not sell his car because of me. He was going to do that anyway. Vince did not run out of food because of me. In fact, I fed him a couple times. And me being portrayed as a fucking freeloader, that's a little too far for me. I'm sorry, but I have every right to defend myself against that bullshit. You can think I'm the most dishonest piece of shit on the face of the planet, but when the facts are just so fucking obvious, when they're just so fucking obvious, I'm sorry, not a chance in hell. I see you chomping at the bit. All right.
Well, and
I'm not chomping at the bit anymore.
All right, Jared, go ahead.
I am to that one because I've interacted with you online more than in person and got to talk to you a bit online before we actually got to finally meet in person while I was down in Florida on a business trip. And it really irks me about that whole freeloading thing because one thing I will give credit to my mom for that I inherited was being able to read people even when I don't want to. And that was a vibe I never got from you, Red. And what really cemented that was when we went to lunch, you, myself, and my wife. And if we weren't joking with each other, it would have been quite a fight on who was actually going to pay the tab. You did not want me to, and you actually looked highly uncomfortable that I insisted on paying for that meal. So, sorry, freeloaders don't argue and try to pay something. When someone offers to pay for them, they lap it up. They may feign wanting to fight against it, but not with the veracity that Red did. Sorry, anyone who claims that is just either doesn't know you or is outright fucking lying.
I actually want to answer JD Kane on something real quick. JD Kane, you said that this conversation should have been between Vincents and Reds, not battling hangouts, get a room and talk together. Well, the problem was it could have been that way, but Vincent told this lie to a third party, and this third party made it public. And this is why this hangout exists.
Correct. So it was already out there in public. And so if that's the way that they want to go ahead and make it, if they want to make this a public issue, which quite frankly, let me move this closer. If they want to make this a public issue, which quite frankly, I don't want it to be a public issue, it's
yes, they were lies.
Yeah, they were lies. They were lies though. Because here's the thing, and if requested, I will go ahead and send screenshots of my PayPal showing that I paid rent. In fact, on one occasion, I paid double rent because Vincent Jones came to me after he had a bit of a event happening. I'm not going to go into detail about what event was taking place because it's not my fucking place to say. I still have respect for the guy. And contrary to popular belief, I'm not a dick and I wouldn't go that low. But he needed extra. He needed more than the rent to make ends meet. And I bit the bullet on that. Yet I'm the guy who caused him to be in the financial situation that he's in. I'm sorry. I'm just fucking sorry. The writing is on the wall, and I'm sorry. I'm not tolerating this shit. Vincent Jones lied about that. Now, this other third person, I just got off the phone with and told me that the only reason that this third-party person said the things they said was because that is exactly what Vince told them. Pieces are starting to fall together now. So Vince, not wanting to take fucking responsibility for his own financial situation, is deciding to blame someone else and throw that person under the bus. I'm sorry, dude. It's not going to be me. Period. It's not going to be me. I fucking refuse. And in fact, Shawn, before we actually had this hangout, let me just ask you a question. You don't know what I'm going to ask, right?
No.
All right, good. So I want your full, honest answer right now. How badly did we debate over what should be said and how we should say it?
Let's just say this hangout has been heavily censored because after the phone call, it did boil down to one person doing the lie, and it just got spread because they bought that lie hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, exactly. So go ahead. Let's see. Want to reply to that?
JD, that's how it started. But because it went public, Red now looks like a complete asshole. Other than the debunking stuff, he actually looks like an asshole as a person when it's not true. It literally is defamation of character.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going.
If it wouldn't have been for that, this would have never happened. Well, the problem with the who cares if he pays rent, Robert W., is Vincent's doing a fundraiser and blaming it on Red. Because Red didn't pay rent, which is completely untrue, and we have the PayPal account to prove it. And as Red said, if people want that evidence, he'll be glad to give it out, but he's not going to put it in the live stream.
Yeah, I won't put it in a live stream, but like I said, I'm going to go ahead and post and show that we actually have numbers and screenshots backing us up.
Hold on. Armin just said, the GoFundMe does not mention Red. Let me read the follow-up post that this person said.
Go ahead.
Quote, I asked him to rewrite it to this, which is what it is currently, in order to prevent drama. The community member in question is fairly popular in our circles. The problem is he has lied to several individuals and involved personal drama as an excuse to not take care of his responsibilities. I'm afraid that if we were to make this more overt and public, he would do exactly as I stated and bring up personal drama. Well, one, we're not bringing up personal drama, but we are calling out the lie for what it is. But the original GoFundMe did talk about how my roommate wasn't paying rent. This person asked Vincent to rewrite it to not include that. So it was originally there. And then it changed because they were afraid this hangout would happen.
Yeah. So I want to go ahead and make this perfectly clear that the screenshots are available. I will go ahead and send them for anyone that doubts that I was paying rent to this guy. This guy got his money. My rent was paid to the agreed upon price that I can't talk right now of $250. On one of those occasions, I think the very first one, I actually paid more than double rent to make ends meet. So I not only paid my portion of it, I paid Vince's portion of it as well. And for this fucking person to smear me in this way, basically without even fucking questioning it, first of all, because when I actually spoke to this person, I thought we were fucking cool and I thought we had an understanding of just what kind of a fucking person I am. I will not screw people out of rent, and I never have. And for Vince to say something like that and not apologize to you guys for blatantly fucking lying about that will show his true characters if he doesn't do that. Everyone should be very critical of me, of course. But everyone should be just as critical of Vincent for lying in the way that he did. This is all public. Anyone can go to this post and actually see it. Anyone can see it. Anyone can read it. And anyone who has followed me to any reasonable length of time, which would have been in the last few months, they know exactly who the fuck they're talking about. A lot of people were able to connect the dots. I've gotten private messages And Shawn has been able to see those. In fact, I got a phone call from one individual who shall not be named. And we went ahead and explained the situation there as well. And the only fucking reply that can be gotten was one of, well, how can we really be sure that was their intent? I call bullshit. I call bullshit on all of it. Guys, I want to go ahead and just say that, okay, I know you guys are wanting this post.
Hold on. D. Smith, everybody who knows Red knows that he was living with Vincent Jones. To claim that otherwise, you're just fooling yourself. Plain and simple. You can't use the, well, his name wasn't directly mentioned. Everybody knew Red was living with Vincent.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that Red recently moved out of Vincent's. So, yeah, you're fooling yourself.
You're fooling yourself. And I want to go ahead and show you guys what's been omitted from Vince's GoFundMe. He didn't mention the fact that I had paid double rent at one point, that I had paid more than my fair share, and that up to right now, I am up to date. He also admitted that the reason why I'm up to date is because I told Vince's other roommate that I was going to pay my last bit of rent on the 9th. And we are currently at the 7th. I have talked to 3 Harvard professors of mathematics, and I am pretty fucking certain 7 is less than 9. The 9th is not fucking here yet. So I said I would pay him on the 9th. He will get his money on the 9th. When I gave that date to Vince's other roommate, he said, and I'm quoting here, "There's no problem with that." So rent will be paid on the 9th, and I will post a PayPal snippet of me sending payment on the 9th. And that way, I met my end of the deal. And Vince, once again, doesn't have a fucking leg to stand on.
Oh, hold on. Let me address JD Kane again.
Go ahead.
As was said earlier, JD, just send Red a private message, and he will be glad to give you all the evidence you need to show that this post was entirely, blatantly a lie.
Yeah. And if you guys are currently in contact with Vincent Jones, ask him to be honest about that car. Ask him to be honest about the rent being paid. Ask him to be honest about whose car we were driving and whose fuel we were burning. In all fairness, Vince at one point put $5 in the tank. 5. And in all honesty, I did use his Speedy Rewards card. Well, how generous. If we got 3 drinks, we got 10 cents off. Ain't that a good deal? But at the very end of it, at the very fucking end of all of that, I paid my fair share and more, and we used my card to fucking do it. Looks like someone is asking for it. Cool. Sounds like a plan, JD. So, evidence number 1. And let's go ahead and do this. I ask JD that you do not share this with anybody since this is privileged information. I think I sent one of them twice to you. Oh, no, that was the bailout that I gave him. Yeah. Another thing that Vince won't tell you is that context on the last one I sent you, JD. The last one I sent you for the amount of $360 and then $394, that was a separate payment for him. That was not anything for rent. I believe that was a plane trip that we took that I fucking paid for, or at least partially paid for so that he could make it. So you will see, JD, that going back to screenshots here.
Now they're saying that rent was due on the 1st. No.
No, fucking wasn't. And so here's what we got on the screenshots. So
here's the 2 dates that I've heard from various people that weren't directly involved. I've heard the rent was due on the 1st. I've heard from one other source that they were told rent was due on the 3rd. Apparently Vincent can't get his rent date straight.
Yeah, go figure. So first one I moved in February, and I paid $250 on March 4th.
JD, that is the whole thing. The agreement that Red had with the other roommate was the payment would be coming in on the 9th. It is now the 7th, so it will be there in 2 days.
Correct. So on March 4th, I paid Vince for rent for February of $250. I then paid an extra $265 because Vince told me that that was not enough and that he would need more to make ends meet. On the next one, after the whole March thing, we go to April 7th. April 7th, I paid him $250 for my share of the rent, and that was all the way through March. And then this coming up period of rent that's coming up will be on May. It's May. Yeah, March, April, May. I got my date wrong. Yeah, May. Sorry, I'm a little confused. May 9th. So, and I told Vince's roommate that rent will be paid on the fucking 9th. And not only that, but I'm not the only one that knows this, because, and I am going to mention this person by name because she can go ahead and attest to this fact. And I'm going to read what she sent me here. So from Fiona Robertson, okay, you told me to ask Vince. He told me that rent was due last Thursday, change story. He also told me that you told Paul, I'm not going to say last name, but that is the other roommate, that you told Paul that you would pay your share on the 9th. So I'm asking, have you paid it yet? Is today the 9th question mark? Do the math. I'm sorry. First she says, nope, it's the 7th. So have you paid it? Do the math. So he also told me that you told Paul that you would pay your share on the 9th. So this information is out there, which means Vince already knew when he was going to get his fucking money. And I didn't just cheap out on him, hightail it out of there and fucking leave without paying. I told him it will be paid on the fucking 9th. So let's see. So those are the screenshots that I have. So JD, can you go ahead and tell everyone in the live chat that I have indeed paid Vincent Jones via PayPal? Can you go ahead and verify that shit for me, please?
Because Vincent has said, and it's become public because of a third party, that Reds wasn't paying rent.
Yeah, that or being late on
or
rent.
Being very, very late on rent. Yeah,
being very late on rent and stuff like that.
We would appreciate that if you can actually corroborate that story with the PayPal screenshots that you got. And for the people saying $250 for rent, there's 3 people living in the home at the time. Because is it May 9th yet, JD? What is today? Today is May 7th.
I didn't make a payment in the future. Oh, woe is me. Quick, hop in the DeLorean.
So you're pulling the same thing that Fiona did and saying, "Well, I don't see a payment on the 9th." Is it the 9th yet?
It's not the 9th yet.
So just saying, JD.
What?
That's pretty bad.
Do people not know how fucking numbers work? Okay, I need to take a piss. I'm sorry. That's fucking sad. I'm sorry. Wow. I don't see oh my fucking God.
You're seeing the previous rent payments.
Yes, JD, the claim was made that Red has not paid rent while he was there. What you are given are Red's receipts showing that he paid the money owed and then some to Vincent for the rent.
And even though Vincent Jones has been lying out of his fucking face about, what exactly went down, I'm still going to pay what I promised I would pay on the 9th. Now, I'm not going to be doing it for Vince anymore because, quite frankly, because fuck that guy. I'm going to be doing it for his other roommate because his other roommate was nothing but amazing to me. That dude is a good guy, and I'm not going to screw him over.
Would you like to go over the dates again? Because JD obviously wasn't listening.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Usually screenshots are better when I don't have to explain it. Okay. Going over this one more time. Go ahead, Jared. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, I've been an outsider of the GDC community for a while. Like, I don't really get involved that much. I mainly watch from the side, and for a while I really did enjoy the intellectual honesty that I had seen previously from Fiona and JD and others, and that vision is just absolutely shattered and fucking gone at this point. It's really sad. It really is.
Okay, before you deal with the dates, JD says he's listening, but admittedly, I'm hearing the other hangout at the same time.
There's another hangout going on?
Just for a moment, can you mute the other hangout so you can actually hear what those payments were and when and why?
There's another hangout going on right now? Well, Jesus. Ain't that good fucking news?
So go ahead, Red.
Okay, sure, but I want to know, is there another fucking hangout going on right now? Because that's bullshit if it is. I want to know where the other hangout is. So let's go ahead and find out.
No, he's muted the other one. Go ahead and do that first, and then we'll find the. Oh, yeah.
No, that's not.
Well, go over the dates.
Okay, I don't know what other hangout. Yeah. Anyway, so
yes, there is Vincent's and others. So yeah, so they waited until this went live. Imagine that. Go ahead with your dates.
They had the opportunity to come clean, and they decided to pull this shit.
Yep.
Wow, petty fucks. Okay. So first one was March 4th. That was for my rent being paid in February. That was my February payment. And if that wasn't enough, I also paid an additional $265 only a few days later. Shawn Hufford, can you please verify those dates and confirm that those were only a few days apart?
March 4th, which was, I believe, the rent due date, which was the first in the 3-day grace period of $250. Then again on March 9th, $265, which was not dealing with his rent. That was above and beyond.
I was above and beyond. So we can kind of consider that not only payment for February, we can consider that payment for January as well, because that's how I worded it to make Vincent Jones feel better about himself. Then the next screenshot you have is on April 7th. And April 7th was again a rent payment of $250. This was next month. So there you have $250 being paid. This rent, the next month is April and then May. So this month I will be paying him another $250 as promised on the 9th. All the dates match up perfectly and don't comport with Vince's bullshit. Do you understand now?
No, it's not Red saving face amongst lies. It's Red clearing up the lies. There's a difference.
So there we have screenshots. And if people want to say I'm a liar in the face of evidence, then by all means be my guest. You guys just need a lesson in critical thinking, because I'm just appalled at people would be so gullible to actually believe this fucking nonsense. So yeah, I basically paid all of this shit in full. Now, JD, can you please confirm the dates that I paid to Vincent Jones? That you see a minus sign next to my account. And just to make sure that we repeat this for
and you actually covered the whole payment on the 7th that, Vincent didn't remind you of it and you were a couple days late.
Yeah. Keep in mind that I don't keep track of these things. Vince was actually the one to tell me that when rent was due. And I told him to remind me when we get home because I will forget. And that is true. I'm a very forgetful bastard. But once Vince told me that, hey, fuckface, rent is due, I got on the computer and I fucking paid it. It's not that I didn't have the money. I had the money. It was just a matter of remembering and him remembering. And that's as much his fault as it is mine, because he forgot to tell me about it. Because I told him, hey, remind me to pay this shit. Because I would get sidetracked, do other things, and that would be that. So, once again, Shawn Hufford, look at the screenshots. Please confirm the dates.
March 4th, March 9th.
All right.
Which was not an actual rent payment. It was to actually cover Vincent's inability to pay rent.
And what was that date?
April 7th.
Amount?
$250.
All right, cool. And that was April 7th. So what month is after April?
May.
And I told him that I would pay it on May 9th. Do I still have some time before May 9th? Oh, wow. I think I do.
Yeah.
So go figure. Looks like I'm up to date on literally everything. Now, here's the deal. Instead of Vince dragging my name through the fuck.
Let me clarify this, JD, because I don't think JD understands the scope of this lie that Vincent's done. Vincent says that because he was so late on rent that he had to pull out loans to meet rent. These loans, did they exist?
Well, I'll tell you what, if they did exist, I never fucking heard a word of it. He never said anything about pulling loans or selling his car to make it. No, if anything, he said that he just wanted to get rid of the damn thing because he doesn't drive it.
Yes, JD. I will go over the initial quote that was spread by the third party who was quoting him.
Go ahead and read it.
Quote, he allowed a member of the community to move in with him to help him find work and go to school. That person did not pay rent on time. We've proved that his first rent payment was perfectly on time, paid extra on top of that. Sorry, I'm messing up my quote.
Okay.
So back to the quote.
Back to the quote.
That person did not pay rent on time. Vincent had to take out a loan and fight with his bank in order to pay rent on time for the few months the guy lived there. On top of that, he would pay other costs the guy incurred through his time there. Because of this, Vince has fallen into a perpetual cycle of debt where he can't get ahead in his rent due to having to pay off interest and late fees and overdraft fees over the months of the roommate's portion of the rent always being late. It's a flat out lie.
I just wanted to apologize on Vince's behalf that he lied to you this blatantly, but this is why this hangout exists. This hangout exists to make it perfectly clear that I will correct bullshit, especially when it's this fucking blatant. I'm sorry. I did not want it to get this far, but I would like to tell you all a secret. And I think that Vince knew of the secret before. And here's the thing. If Vince had simply called me and told me that he needs rent sooner than what I had promised, a phone call, a text message, a Google Hangout call, a message on Skype, I would have actually paid him the $250.
The big thing that I have a stink on this, other than Red being lied about, is that he built an entire fundraiser on a lie. So
Right.
he's garnering funding on a lie. That is my big issue.
I want to go ahead and make it clear to people. I want to go ahead and make it very fucking clear to people. Because now that I know what's going on, and because I am a man of my word, I'm going to go ahead and pay Vince the $250 right now. I'm going to send money to him right now. Keep in mind, Vince, you could have kept this private. You didn't have to drag my name through the fucking mud and make a complete ass out of yourself. You didn't have to do that. If you just messaged me or called me, do that thing that you just plainly don't know how to do and just called me, could have sent it to you.
Just a second.
Okay.
Kevin, you fucking retard. No one has ever said that Red didn't owe Vince money. Not once. So where you're coming up with that bullshit shows your fucking bias. The money was going to be paid on the 9th, but to end this shit, he's doing it today. So you, Kevin, are a fucking simpleton. Enjoy your night.
I thought better of you, Kevin. I really did, but unfortunately, damn.
It just shows the cognitive dissonance when you are fulfilling an obligation early and then they twist it like that. Great fucking move.
Go figure, right? Go fucking figure.
The one good thing about this is I can see who the fuck is a dumbass in this community right here and now through this chat.
Yeah, go figure, right?
And $250 sent to Vincent Jones. Vincent, you are now out of Red's life. Thank you. Have a nice fucking night.
Oh, by the way, let me go ahead because I don't want to be called a fucking liar again. Let me do this. just to make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Say Leanne, the 9th of April, he actually paid on the 7th of April. This month's payment was due in 2 days. April was taken care of. April was done. Again, someone's not paying the fuck attention.
So here's the thing. If Vince had just come to me and said, hey, Red, I know we have our problems, but I need rent now, I would have fucking paid it. But he did not contact me. He did not message me. And I did not block him on Skype. I didn't block his phone number. He could have called me or texted me or sent me a Skype message. I said before that he could have done it through Hangouts, but no, I blocked him, so that wouldn't have worked. But either way, he had ways of getting in contact with me. But instead, he decides to run my fucking name through the mud, paint me to be a piece of shit, and then I'm just supposed to lie down and take it. I'm supposed to be the bigger man and handle it in private when they didn't want to do it in private to begin with. I am done dealing with people who fucking lie. Vince, you are a liar. I never want to talk to you ever again. And now I am telling you, don't ever fucking call me again. Don't ever fucking call me again. You are a piece of shit, a lying piece of shit. And now I know that you're more than happy to throw others under the bus to basically hide the fact that you are just not fucking good with money. Deal with your own shit like a fucking adult. Oh my God. Jared, what say you? Anything?
At this point, if you want to align yourself on that side of things, you can rightly fuck off. And I've gone through my subscription list and seen which ones were what and have adjusted it accordingly.
I'm going to correct Cliff Jumper again. The original GoFundMe was damn near a quote for quote from what I read from this third party. This third party made Vince change it to avoid this hangout.
Please read it one more time. We're going to read it over and over and over.
And I'll read the response where they actually followed up and said that they asked Vince to change it. So, starting again, quote, he, meaning Vince, allowed a member of the community to move in with him to help find work and go to school. That person did not pay rent on time. Vincent had to take out a loan and fight with his bank in order to pay rent on time for the few months the guy lived there. On top of that, he would pay other costs the guy incurred through his time there. Because of this, Vince has fallen into a perpetual cycle of debt where he can't get ahead in his rent due to having to pay off interest and late fees and overdraft fees over the months of the roommate's portion of the rent always being late. He barely made rent yesterday if myself and members of the community did not reach out to him in private and pay the money to the roommate didn't pay on time for rent.
Hang on, pause it. Stop it right there. We're not quoting anymore, but we'll finish the quote. But let me say something. If they would have actually got in contact with me, they meaning Vince actually got in contact with me, I would have fucking paid it. I would have fucking paid it. Vince is dragging my name through the mud as if I'm some kind of fucking freeloader that just skimps out on rent over $250 fucking dollars. I told him I was going to pay it on the 9th, and there was no problem with that date. The other roommate gave me no headache about that date. None whatsoever. I'm paying it now to show that if they had gotten their head out of their asses and fucking called me and talked to me and told me, look, I'm in a financial bind, man. I know I fucked you over. I know I talk shit about you to other people who were your friends and even your coworkers. But I need help. And I would have fucking paid it. I was going to wait till the 9th. I was going to buy my time, pay it on 9th, and move the fuck on with my life. But I'm paying it now to basically say, fuck him.
But just to get back to Cliff Jumper, because I do want to finish this quote because this actually directly affects what he said.
Yes.
The third party then goes on to say, I asked him to rewrite it to this in order to prevent drama. What she means by that is what it currently says now. The community member in question is fairly popular in our circles. The problem is he lied to several individuals and involved personal drama as an excuse to not take care of responsibility. I'm going to address that right now. There is no way that Red has involved personal drama in all this because he's been avoiding this entire drama situation entirely. So this statement is a lie by the third party, just to garner support for Vince, whose entire fundraiser is built on a fucking lie. He's just incredibly bad with money, and he doesn't want to admit that, so he had to find a scapegoat. Oh, easy scapegoat, guy who just moved out.
Yep. God. And I know that this is going to incite a lot of bullshit, but I am going to make a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction. I'm not going to get a fucking apology.
No, you won't.
No. They're going to continue to try and save face and say that they were in the right the entire time. And I'm the biggest piece of shit on the planet. And I'm a liar. I'm a deceiver. I'm a lying liar who lies.
And just to point out, because JD's brought this up about how they're having a hangout right now. They were given from 4 p.m. our time to right this wrong. This particular lie was asked to be corrected, and they didn't do it. In fact, Red was told flat out they weren't going to do it, which is why we went live a half hour early.
Yep.
So when we go live, they seem to go on a hangout to save face because they knew what was going to be said here, because they know it's fucking lies.
JD, what channel is the hangout on? Answer that question for me, please, because I want to make sure that it's in the description of this hangout where they're actually trying to save face. Because unlike them, I have screenshots. They fucking don't.
Well, you can say it sounds like an opiate issue, but as Red just said, he's got screenshots showing that he paid the rent in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm. I mean, God damn it. Vincent Jones, facts are a bitch, aren't they?
I would really be interested in seeing the dates of these loans that Vince took out to cover Red not paying rent on time.
I'm willing to show screenshots of my financial transaction. Let's see if he's willing to do the same fucking thing. Let's go ahead and see these loans. Let's go ahead and see the money that he made off of selling this car.
Hold on. Scientist Sam, again, Vince didn't cover Red's portion. He didn't. Red even went out of his way to make an extra rent payment because Vince couldn't make up his own rent. The entire fundraiser is built on a fucking lie. If he'd have been honest, I just am sucky with money. One, people wouldn't have felt sympathy for him. But if he had an evil roommate that wasn't making payments, people would have sympathy and help support him. I have issue with that. I'm pretty pissed that you don't.
This is what happens when you drink Kool-Aid. Thick Kool-Aid.
You keep saying that, Cliff, but according to this third party who pretty much quoted him, yes, he did. It was the original fundraising page. This third party made him change it to what it is now to avoid this.
I have a phone call I have to make from the other roommates. Please excuse me. John, keep these fucking idiots in order.
So, Cliff, you're in the wrong here. And the simple fact that you're not going to accept that, and I'm going to see if that's the actual Vince, because, yeah, there's issues here. That is not the actual Vince Jones. You guys can right-click it and go to his channel. That's not the actual Vincent Jones. That is a troll. So, Jared, I'm kind of hurting in my voice here. Jared.
Wow. Just fucking wow.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Scientist Sam, your understanding is wrong. There was no overdrafts. There was no loans. That was just a sympathy cry.
Now, what when this thought came to my mind twice when the reason for the funding was read off. The only thing I can think of that would incur that sort of financial burden wasn't if you were going to a bank for a traditional loan, but were in fact going to a check cashing place and doing a payday loan.
Maybe.
Which, yeah, you would easily get yourself fucked up the ass financially by doing that. Which the only person you have to blame for that is yourself.
I don't condone the event sport portrayed in this stream. The reason why we haven't linked to the actual quote isn't because it doesn't exist. It's because this person was told the lie and just passed it along. They're not to blame for the lie. They did make it public, but they're not the one that originated the lie. So in order to save their face for just swallowing Kool-Aid without actually fact checking, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Red would be more than happy to give a link to it if it's absolutely required to see this quote. I've only read it several times. But he's down on the phone talking to the other roommate right now. And did we lose chat?
I haven't.
Yeah, my chat seems to have frozen.
Well, I had to reload it a few minutes ago, so gotta love the Google tubes.
Yeah. That window. Truth set you free. So pop out the chat now again because it froze. Last thing I saw was Scientist Sam saying that he was something. Damn, a lot's been going on since that came up.
Yeah.
Okay, there's that one. Fake Vincent Jones.
Yeah, well, Skeptic, you also are not in the Hangout at the same time, so kind of overburdening things with how many windows I have open.
Because the chat was frozen. JD King, question: Reds, did you at any time claim that you did not owe Vincent Red? I've been told that was originally the original claim, and that you changed it. No, Red's never said that he never owed rent.
No,
never once.
No, Red said that he had paid and was current up through this month we are now in, and that the payment was agreed upon to be paid on the 9th, which he just paid early. There was no denying that Red still owed a payment for May, which he just made 2 days earlier than was agreed upon. And I do find it kind of funny, JD, how you were claiming you were also listening to another live stream and yet are avoiding giving the name of the channel that said live stream is taking place on. Great intellectual honesty there, buddy.
Yeah. They don't have it. You know, I respected a whole lot of people in this community. Scientist Sam was definitely one of them. But after tonight, I'm sorry, Scientist Sam, but you have no intellectual honesty at this point. You're more than willing to help support a lie, so I'm done with you. Just making that official. I actually cut Fiona out for doing the same thing. And I loved Fiona to death, but I'm not going to sit there and associate with people who are willing to support a lie because they like the person. That makes them just as bad as the person doing the lie.
Yeah, because I know you've said this privately off air, and I'm sure you've said it at times on air not involving or where I've heard it, Shawn, but I think you can agree with this sentiment. If I'm friends with someone and I care about them and they're doing something that I think is a mistake or wrong, I will let my opinion be known. I won't just blanketly and blindly support them just because I like them. Sorry, if I think you're doing or saying something wrong, Shawn, I will let you know.
Yeah, and I would expect that. You know, if I'm wrong, I'd like to know. But I also, you know, people say that, you know, hold yourself to the same standards that you hold to everyone else. I do. And I have a very high standard for myself. So in turn, I have a high standard for others that I associate with.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, I've held Sam in the highest regards for a long time because of the fact he is knowledgeable. He backs up his claims until today. You know, now he's just going by what is claimed by somebody who's lied and sticking with it like it's the gospel truth. And sorry, dude, I can't. No. Bob McAdoo, yeah, I do tend to rebuke friends when needed, but just to give an example of the kind of person that I am, and I actually surprised Red with this, my best friend since the age of 17 until I was 44, he did something morally wrong. I haven't talked to him for over 2 years. I will never talk to him again. It wasn't serious. It was just a personal issue, but it was morally wrong. And I cut him out of my life immediately. And this is somebody I grew up with. I hold everybody to high standards because I hold myself to a high standard.
Yep. And I do my damnedest to keep personal life where it belongs, personally. One insight that I will give to everyone that's listening and everyone who watches us after, for as long as it stays available. I have cut out the majority of my blood family because of how things
Cliff,
were.
No, I'm going to see, Cliff, you're cut off at this point too, because you keep trying to defend this by changing the story. He didn't say it was partially due. He put the entire blame on his ex-roommate. Entirely. With his original FundMe, which he had to change at the request of this third party who knew that this drama would come up and it would be proven that he was fucking lying.
Is that the actual?
I don't think it is, but we'll see.
No, it's the sock Roakley. It's the sock account. It's not even the real one. Get some better game.
So yes, you can say I'm burning bridges tonight, but that's because I'm seeing what kind of Kool-Aid you guys are swallowing and defending after it's been proven to be false.
And here's the thing. I have no problem having a small circle of friends and people that I can trust. It's better that way.
In this city, I can count my number of friends on 0 fingers. My entire social life is YouTube. I have no qualms admitting that. Well, that's the thing, Jay Green. I don't have many issues when they actually admit their wrongs and figure out how to correct them. But when people are so adamant that they cannot, I have to cut them out. Not an idiot. Some people would say it's not healthy to not have personal friends in like the real world. But I have enough friends on YouTube that I've actually met in real life. They are actual friends in real life. They just don't live in the same city.
Which sometimes sucks.
Actually, I have seen the evidence stand alone. JD has seen the evidence, but he tried to twist it to his own means, which pisses me off. But yes, the evidence is available. Red has offered that evidence if people message him. So it's not just on testimony. I've seen the evidence. So again, assumption without evidence on your part, Stan. I don't think there would be a problem with people donating to Vincent for this. I really don't. It's the fact that he had to lie to try to draw sympathy that pisses us off.
Yeah, shit happens and people need help.
Yes, I fully agree.
We get it. But be honest about what's actually going on. You can say, hey, I fucked up, things got out of control, and now I'm in a bind. How about that for a reason?
Kevin, this person you're defending that you thought this was going to be a blackmail hangout about, you know who we're talking about. They told Vincent to change it to not mention the roommate. The original GoFundMe was all about being Red's fault. This third party made him change it to avoid this very hangout and then proceeded to basically copy paste what he had into a public message on G+.
All right. So from JD, here's my issue. Seems like Vincent hasn't said much of anything on the subject. He's only spoken to his closest friends, and even then, nothing drastic was said. So what is Red so angry about? Holy fuck, do we need to read it for a fifth fucking time?
No, we don't. No, we fucking don't. Okay, so I just got a phone call, a very interesting phone call. And some people are wanting this shit to end, and that's perfectly fine. Did we ever find out what channel the other hangout is on?
No. JD's not willing to do that.
Like explicitly said.
JD Kane, shall I read the second fucking quote from this third party who asked him to change it to not include that?
This fucking post is a public, dude. What the actual fuck? Fucking post is public that the reason why Vincent Jones was having a fucking financial difficulties was because of an evil fucking roommate. I'm sorry. There's some point where it's so black and white that to deny the fucking obvious is to be intellectually dishonest, more dishonest than a flat earther, and that's saying something. I don't want to think you're like that, JD, but come the fuck on.
If I actually can get a hold of you on Hangouts, JD, I will send you the link because you asked for it directly, and you seem to be having the biggest fucking issue with this shit.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
And what's funny is Kevin is even saying that there is no other hangout. So
there isn't.
So
well, JD says otherwise. So one of you two is lying, Kevin.
Which one is it?
Well, JD says there's another hangout with Hannah and Vince and at least one other person.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin, the sucker of certain people's penises, says there's no hangout.
There is no chill. There is no chill today.
Not with Kevin. No, he's burned this bridge.
Oh, damn. So, okay, regardless if there's a hangout or not, hey, baby, I remember that. Want to go ahead and invite JD in, do you think?
JD, would you come into this hangout if we sent you an invite?
It's like, why is... It's blatantly fucking clear what's going on. Why is this dipshit still being defended in this way?
JD says he wants to come in. If I can figure out how to add you on Hangouts, I think I can do it through here. Yes, I can.
You have to go to the Hangouts actual tab or do it on the inside chat. Do it in the Hangout.
Gotta find the Hangout window. Add people.
Just type in and hope for the best. Sometimes.
All right.
No. N-E. N-E.
Oh, it's JD Kane. K-A-I-N.
Well.
And it's not giving me an invite, so.
Copy and paste the link.
I'm going to copy this and send it to you privately, JD. Well, that's the thing. I'm actually logged in twice. On Hangouts, I'm logged in with me. On the actual live stream Hangout, I'm logged in with Red. And on the chat, I'm logged in with Red. So go to your channel. Is that the actual JDK?
Send it on the inside, yes. I guess.
I'm going to send it to him private message. So
okay.
JD Kane, you're getting a message from Red's Rhetoric's account with the link to come in.
Send it to Bash Prompts since he's been listening since the very beginning.
Okay, I think I got him in Hangouts actually.
Then do it through Hangouts, honestly.
That's what I'm trying to do, but
hang on. Yo. Okay, so let's see. God damn it, Bash. We'll get you in. We'll get you in. Just
Bash, you have an invite incoming right now.
Yes, calm your tits. It will happen.
Yes, Kevin, Death by Pulsar. We know that you're not the other Kevin that's a complete and total dumbass.
Death by Pulsar.
Bash, you have been added to the Hangout.
He was actually added to the old one, but the link for this one is in there, so you'll be able to see it, Bash.
There you go. So come on in, Bash. You've been given an invite to this Hangout. And we'll go ahead and solve some shit, get other people's perspective on it, since, I don't know, maybe I'm totally overly reacting being called a total fraudulent piece of shit. Maybe I'm totally reacting being called a fucking freeloader and a guy who doesn't pay rent.
Thanks very much.
There you are.
There's Bash. Now
hey,
we're
Bash.
Just waiting on JD. Like I said, JD, it's in your private messages on your channel.
Then your private messages on your channel, dude. Got to go through it that way. Bash, you there?
Yep. How have you been?
Long time no talk, man.
Long time no talk.
Having a lot of fun. Yeah, I just checked Hangouts.google for the first time in forever, and I've got messages from people being like, "Long time no speak," and the date's like 2016. So it's been a while since I fucked around on this account.
Well, Bash, you're not really involved in this drama. I just invited you in because I haven't talked to you in a while. But is there anything you would like to say?
I'm just so confused why people suddenly think they're forensic accountants. I mean, especially the two people involved. As far as I know, they don't have a forensic accounting degree or even any privity in the matter.
Yeah, no one called me Kent Hovind or Dr.
That'd have been a lot better, actually.
That would have been a lot better, actually. It's not every day that being called Kent Hovind is a fucking compliment compared to other shit that's been going on. And, you know, I'm just kind of fucking fed up with being lied about and to. So with the dishonesty that's going on with Vincent Jones, I had to make this Hangout very public because, well, fuck, no one else was going to fucking apologize to it. Damage already being done, then fine, be that way. Not seeing a private message. God damn it.
Actually, you can add him to the call from there because he should be in your list.
Fucking hope so. Okay, that's the link to it, right? Because yes, I'm going to copy and paste it. Copy text.
I was going to say you can just add him through that because he should be on your list.
I'm not going to play this game anymore. I'm just going to do it this way and be done with it.
Just to Mr. Pluto the dog, no, paying rent and other domestic bills does not take into account a degree in accounting. But we've got a few people in the chat here who are self-appointed forensic accountants. Yeah?
You're really quiet for one, and JD just entered.
Yeah, we're going to ask you to kind of keep quiet.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Hi, JD.
So this is not how I expected my evening to be going.
Neither did we.
Neither did we. Believe me.
We had plans for drones tonight.
We had plans for flying machines and Flat Earth Butthurt. That's hence why I made the post.
All right. So
yeah.
Thursday at 1:30. Yeah, of course, this time when the door opens. I'm trying to think where to start.
By the way.
Before any of this started, before I saw you doing a hangout, all I knew is that Vincent did not have enough to pay the rent and believed that you were part of the problem. You were supposed to have paid rent earlier than you have, and that was kind of it. And that I believe Hannah is the one who set up a GoFundMe to try and help him out. And you really weren't mentioned that much in this. Like, yeah, some people who were in the know, like some of his close, as far as I know, Vince mentioned like to one or two close friends, and that was about it. And just a little touch leaked out to a couple of the people, and that was it. But it wasn't. Most people had no idea what's going on.
In the internal chat, I'm going.
It's become a lot bigger of a thing now that there's 200 something people watching this drama unfold.
Well, soon
hold on,
250.
Just to clarify, because you're here, in the internal chat, I'm going to link to the actual post that actually started this fireball.
Sure.
So there you go. And we're trying to keep that name out of it because they only posted it because they were lied to and they ran with it.
Of course. So no names, JD, please. But
we'll let you read that over so you know that I'm just not making up this whole paragraph.
Okay. Let me read it up on it.
Yes. And while you're reading, I am going to say this, is that when a post is made, even on a person's personal G+, if it's private, there's no fucking issue. You know, unless you're saying this shit to my mutual friends and you're making them think that I'm a giant cock gobbler, you know, by what you're telling them, which is fucking lies, then I will get pissed. But if you're saying it to people that I don't fucking know and don't fucking care about, you can think whatever the fuck you want about me. I really don't give two shits and a fuck. But this was not private. While it may be somewhat maybe, you know, difficult to find and that you have to go down, you actually have to use that scrolly wheel that's on your mouse, it was still public. And people who can put the fucking pieces together will know exactly who they were talking about. And so if they want to make it, you know, under the radar public, I will make it very much in the radar public and show everyone that, yeah, I know who the piece of shit is, and it isn't me. I'm done with this. I'm done being fucking Mr. Nice Guy and actually being silent and quiet and, you know, adult about this, dare I say. You know,
I'm going to qualify that because I've been talking with Red about all this drama that's been unfolding that he's not been involved in. He's been doing his best to avoid it. And I've been his venting ear.
I finished reading that little. You wanted me to read the post underneath it, correct? Just to be sure.
Both of them.
All of it. Read the entire thread.
Yeah, I did.
Your attention to the bomb 3.
Yeah, it doesn't look like your name was ever mentioned.
Pay attention to the bomb 3, please. The fact that my name was not mentioned is not the point. The point was that there was enough clues in there where it's fucking obvious who we're talking about.
So you're essentially saying everything but the name is cool. So you can give a full detail and directly point at the person, but because you don't say their name, it's fucking cool.
I want you guys to know that
I
want you guys to know that there is a rapist in the community. I know that's very extreme, but I want you to know I'm not going to say names. He's just some guy that lives in New Jersey that sells barrels out of some broken ass shop for a living, and every now and then screams at fucking, you know, the fucking racist group thing, whatever. Black Hebrew Israelites. That's the guy. Oh, I didn't say the name. So therefore it's okay. No, fuck that.
Okay, I get your point. I get your point. I get your point.
Thank you.
The point is, people can put together who Vince is talking about without a whole lot of effort, and the whole story is a lie. That's
okay. Which part is a lie? That's what I'm really.
All of it. All of it.
Okay, well, something.
He never had to take out loans. He never had to sell his car. He was already selling it before then.
No, he wasn't selling
it. He was planning on it.
No, he wasn't even planning on it.
I thought you said he was.
No, what happened was that he was planning on getting rid of the car because he still owed money to the lien holder. And so since that car was not even fucking running to begin with, because quite frankly, it was a piece of shit, what he decided to do was to just say, fuck it, and have the piece of shit towed out of his yard and give it back to them. And he wasn't going to finish paying it off. I think he still owed like $600 on the piece of shit. And so instead of paying it off, he decided to have it towed back to them.
Hold on. I got to qualify something in the chat because Blue Nader did. No, G-Man is not actually a rapist. Red was trying to make a point.
Something about G-Man. No one mentioned G-Man.
Yes. Well, actually, the insinuation was there that you actually agreed with was wrong. But the point was, Red was making up a lie and not naming a name, and asked JD if that was okay, and JD agreed, no, it is not.
Let me say this: G-Man is not a rapist. God damn it,
He
guys! I
sells
was making a
barrels
point.
and he yells
He's
at
just
Israelites.
a dumbass. Okay, he's just a dumbass.
Agreed. No one is claiming that there are dead hookers in those blue barrels he moves. No one has claimed that. No dead hookers in the barrels.
So it was just an analogy to get JD to understand the point.
That's all it was, an
and
analogy.
I get the point.
If you take this shit seriously, then oh my fucking god.
You do have flat earthers who watch this shit, so you just never know.
I
That's a
know.
good point.
Well, we also have dumbass supposed skeptics
Hey,
who watch this shit too.
I want to get back to this particular post. It's like this one post that I'm looking at, the 3 paragraphs, third from the bottom is the one that really is the focus, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
And all that shit
claims that Vincent had to pay other costs incurred because of your living there. Is that true?
Nope, not true.
Vincent never had to pay anything having to do with you living there on top of normal stuff.
Why is that any of your business, JD, though? Seriously,
well, none of
where do
this
you
is my
fucking-
business. I'm just curious. Do not feel free to tell me to go fuck off at any time. I don't need to know any of this stuff.
Hang on, Bash. I'm actually going to go ahead and just let JD ask his questions. So
You
I
gonna do my
understand.
Spurg Lords? Okay, I'll let you do it.
And if you don't answer, that's fine. You don't need to justify anything to me, of course. That just goes without saying.
I mean, to be fair, what JD was doing there is going point by point in what was said in the posts that are at the crux of the issue right now.
Yeah, because I'm sure if you're telling the truth, what I expect will happen is the other people involved will either never get back to me on this or will say something a bit vague. That's usually what people do when they lie. Or if you're the one who's not telling the truth, then I'm going to get a whole lot of facts and evidence that like, no, Red is all lying. And then I'll know the truth. And that's the issue. I want to know the truth. I'm not worried about people's that's it. I want to know what the truth is. So
yeah, exactly.
The thing is, I trust all the people involved. So it's difficult for me to figure out who is telling the lies and who isn't.
Well, I appreciate your honesty there, but I do want to go ahead and ask you one thing before we continue with the line of questioning. Yeah, sure. You did receive screenshots from me that shows that Vincent Jones has gotten money from me, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You have in fact paid rent prior, and as far as I know, you've just actually I've confirmed with Vincent that you've now paid the rent now.
And true or false. On one of those screenshots that I sent you, one of them actually showed double rent, correct? One on the 4th and one on the 9th, right?
7th.
Oh, 7th.
Actually, no, I do see 4th and 9th, 250, then 265.
4th and 9th? I was right, you bitch.
There's another one on the 7th that was 250. Then back again in March 9th, there was. No, that's the next one. All right.
Go back to screenshots.
Well, it looks like your rent paying things. You guys should have had a more formal system. So here's my issue, if I may. Here's my issue. While this does show that you, of course, have paid rent, which no one ever denied. No one denied you didn't pay rent.
Him.
I think I haven't actually heard much directly from Vincent. But what I understood is that this last thing you left before paying the latest rent.
Before I left, I was not talking to Vince. So Vince would not know of this unless I told his other roommate to tell him this. But the agreement that we made was that I would pay my final bill or my final thing on the 9th because I did not know when rent was due. And, at the beginning of the month or sometime at the beginning of the month, Vince would tell me I need rent and I would just fucking pay it because I wasn't going to pay attention to the timing or shit like that. So I made a deal with the other roommate to pay it on the 9th. And the other roommate said that was fine. He had no objections to that plan.
This actually helped a little bit. It sounds like there's a way to go through this without anyone lying, at least on this bit. It could simply be, if I may, before you keep going, Vincent is claiming that it was due on the 1st, and there's a 3-day period. And this other roommate didn't say anything about it, but did say it was fine for you to pay on the 9th.
The owner's conversation.
So it's possible that both things are true. That Vincent, that you made a deal with the other roommate because you weren't talking to Vince, and Vince, either unbeknownst to this or not, was like, well, actually, this sucks because it's supposed to be due earlier. I'm gonna have to do some stuff.
Well, actually, JD, there's a problem with that because Fiona talked to Vince to try to get this clarified, And Vince said that he knew that Red was going to pay him on the 9th.
Yep. Fiona's exact words were, and I'm quoting here. Thank you very much, Fiona. Okay, you told me to ask Vince. He told me that rent was due last Thursday. He also told me that you told Paul, which is the other roommate, that you would pay your share on the 9th. This was known. He knew exactly when he was going to get my my final payment for the rent. Keep in mind, I haven't been fucking living there most of this fucking month, but I was still going to pay it just because I'm a nice guy. And with that being said, if Vince would have actually fucking got in contact with me or texted me or did fucking something and said, hey, listen, I'm having a financial bind right now. Can you pay, you know, that the last $250 now? I would have fucking done it. But instead, what they decided to do was just smear my fucking name all over G+.
But it's also true that you've this is coming from Vince now, that you've blocked him from most ways of him contacting you.
I did not block him from a phone call or a text message, and he has yet to do either or. Tell him to call me right now, and we'll see what my phone fucking does.
Well, I'm not gonna. I'll let him. He's probably hearing this hangout, so that's up between you guys.
I bet he is. And just so that you know, Vince, because I know that you're probably watching this shit right now, shitting yourself. Here's the thing. I went ahead and let you know, or not you know, I let Paul know exactly what the fuck was going on. You knew exactly when I was going to pay that rent. And obviously, some bullshit was being said in the background without my knowledge, behind my back, as most shit is, that I was this horrible roommate and that you incurred costs and stuff like that. Well, here's the thing, motherfucker. I have screenshots and you apparently don't. I want to see the receipts of these so-called expenses that you had to pay because of me. I want to see the profit you made off of the car you had to sell. I want you to go ahead and show everybody right now that you're not a fucking lying piece of shit and that I really am this horrible person that you're painting me to be. Fucking do it. And if you aren't going to do that, then I expect you to grow a fucking pair and do something that you haven't done yet and fucking apologize. Say, Red, Manta Man, I fucked up. I'm sorry. That's all you had to fucking do. And you're not going to do it. Too fucking proud for that.
Okay. I'm trying to think of any. Okay. I'm trying to think if I had any other questions. That kind of. The thing is, I mean,
go down the line. Just give me like 5 seconds.
Sure, of course. So yeah, based on what he's saying, I can see how this seems so mundane that there was a mix-up with the last rent. That he and Vince falling out, moves out, says he's gonna pay on the 9th. He's not sure when the rent is. Guy says okay. Vince is like, oh crap. But then Vince didn't call him and tell him that this is a problem. And that could be on Vince, or they could be on Red's not saying I'll pay it as quickly as possible. That's so little. I'm not. Whatever. That
wasn't Red not saying I'll pay it as soon as possible. That was Red setting a concrete date and that date not arriving yet. So I was not obligated to pay the fucking rent or anything like that. But here's the thing. If Vince would have actually got the fucking contact with me, he's not blocked on my phone. He's not blocked on Skype. He could have fucking called me. He could have fucking texted me. He could have done something, but instead he decided to smear my name so that this other bitch could fucking peddle this lie.
All right. If his roommate had told you, actually, dude, rent's due on the 1st, would you have simply paid on the 1st?
I would have simply paid on the 1st, but that wasn't a conversation that we had.
All right. Well, that's fine then. It seems weird. Like this now seems like no drama at all. Like this is
the drama is not with the rent. I don't actually give a flying fuck about the $250. I'll pay the $250.
You already have.
I already have paid the $250.
Yeah, you already have. I know.
You have a screenshot of me paying the $250. The money was never the fucking issue. The issue was that these motherfuckers are painting me out to be this horrible fucking person, and all they had to do was 86 this shit by simply asking me, talking to me, actually going to the source. Hey, Red, I know we have some beef, but I'm having financial struggles right now. Can you pay your rent now? Sure. Here's $250. Get the fuck out of my life. How fucking difficult is it to pick up the phone, dial that number, and say those words? Why do they have to go on and on a public fucking post smear me like that? That is 100% on Vince and the people that were pushing that bullshit. And I'm not going to fucking tolerate it.
Well, it looks like as far as smears go, the only one actually doing smearing, as far as I've seen, I mean, you've only linked me the one thing. For all I know, there's lots else out there. Is the one person, third and last post on there. I'm not mentioning names. Is the only person smearing you, and it's not, admittedly, not much of a smear. More like, like, dang it, this is annoying, but oh well.
That's not much of a smear. Are you fucking kidding me? They're painting me out to be like a horrible fucking roommate. And
because this horrible roommate didn't pay his rent, I need to do a GoFundMe.
Well, the particular person
no, that is a huge smear, JD. I'm sorry, I'm calling you out on that.
That is a huge fucking smear. Basically, they're saying that because of me, this person has a probability of being fucking homeless. That is not accusation. I'm going to lie down and take up the ass. I'm gonna rip the dildo out of their hands, lube it with fire, and shove it up their ass sideways.
And the claim that he needed to get loans and start a GoFundMe, which I hope, JD, you will again put on the forensic accounting hat and demand evidence for. I'd really like to see the documentation that he got a loan.
Well, as you know, I do work for the I do work for the NSA, and part of the training there is becoming a loan accountant. So I know all this stuff like by heart. So don't worry.
Brilliant. So you're gonna CC me a copy of that, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yes.
I just ask you don't.
And my fingers are not crossed. No, of course not. Please don't release any of this stuff.
I mean, it's not much to see anyway, but just saying.
Yeah, it's like I said a couple times on this. If Vince would have been honest and just said, I'm not good with money. I'm having issues. And can I have some help, please? Even I would have found some room to toss something his way. It's the fact that he lied as the base of his fundraiser by trying to smear somebody to make him look like the victim and that he was literally taken advantage of.
I'm still honestly, because I haven't seen a whole lot of evidence. I'm still on the fence about some of the things being lies and some not maybe just being things. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence for or against Vince having to take out a loan. No evidence for or against him having to pay for you in any way. So I'm just taking your word on that for now. If that stuff turns out to be true, if that's like true that he never took out a loan, his issues really aren't as bad. Okay, yeah, then Vince is a liar there. And of course, if it's the other way around, then you're the liar. And I honestly have no way to know that. I probably never will, and I'm okay with that.
You're okay. Well, I just want to say that I actually have these fucking screenshots to show you that I had paid my end of the fucking deal. There was no financial burden placed on him from any of the shit. So let's go ahead and go through it together.
Okay, but it is true that if rent was due on the 1st, despite you not knowing that, which would be that way neither of you was lying. You simply said I'm going to pay on the 9th, and Vince never got a hold of you. Say, oh no, it's the 1st. In which case, it was your fault. It wasn't exactly your fault. It was more like just you guys didn't communicate, and that screwed things up.
But see, that would be fine. But Vince went out of his way to say, "Oh, this guy's just so bad. He just wasn't paying rent on time."
Let's go ahead and go through it. Please read the first paragraph for me.
He allowed a member of the community move in with him to help him find work, go to school. That person did not pay rent on time.
Stop. That is bullshit. As the screenshots show, not only did I pay rent on time when he asked me to, because that's when rent was due, when he asked me to. And in one case, he asked me to pay again because he's shit with money. Continue.
Vincent had to take out a loan and fight with his bank in order to pay rent on time for the few months the guy lived there.
All right, let's stop there. Vincent Jones was very vocal about his financial situation with me. We had a heart-to-heart before I actually gave him that money. And what we should be doing is financial rehabilitation, even working overtime, which, by the way, he never wanted to fucking do, even though they were paying double overtime. If Vince was taking out loans, he never mentioned it. He never mentioned a loan. He never mentioned which bank he got the loan from. I don't actually think he could take out a loan unless it was from like fucking Amscot or something and for like $100 here and there for him to make rent. But he was actually short, I think, to Amscot and asked me to pay for it. So that right there, fucking lie. Fucking lie. If he had to take out loans from anywhere else, like other than the $50 from Amscot or whatever the fuck else, I never heard about it. Continue.
Why can't we have nice things in the chat? Says definitely a drug problem. Actually, you're not far off. It's a microtransaction problem.
Microtransaction problem. All right. So let's see. On top of that, he would pay other costs the guy incurred through his time there. That is bullshit. Citation fucking needed. If anything, I bailed you out. Whose car were we using to get to work, Vince? Were we using yours that you weren't driving, or were we using my car, my gas? If anything, I was the one pulling a little bit of extra because we were using my shit to get shit done.
And just to point out, because yes, this is anecdotal because I don't record my life. While I was in Florida, yes, he actually made 3 microtransaction purchases for a game back to back, not even for himself.
Go figure. Because of this has fallen into a perpetual cycle. Let me just highlight one thing in case people tuned out. Because of this, so because of me, Vince has fallen into a perpetual cycle of debt where he can't get ahead in his rent due to having to pay off. Not sure English there, but okay. No, the reason why he's in this perpetual cycle is because he is not good with money. No. Period. He really isn't good with money. And when his work is offering double fucking overtime, he's not taking them up on it. So because of this, Vince has fallen into a perpetual cycle debt where he can't get ahead due to not paying off. It's because he's lazy and doesn't want to fucking do it himself. Interest at late fees or interest in late fees and overdraft fees over the months of the roommate's portion of the rent being always late. Keep in mind, I would pay the rent whenever Vince would ask me to pay the fucking rent. Just like if he would have actually called me to ask, hey, can you pay the rent now? I would have fucking did it. Just because if I'm not informed on what the fuck is going on, do not blame me when I don't know what the fuck is going on. He barely made rent yesterday. Could have fucking called me and solved that problem. If myself and members of the community didn't reach out to him in private and pay the money the roommate didn't pay on time for rent. Again, never was contacted at all to have that rent paid. Otherwise, I would have fucking did it. How is this supposed to prove that I'm an asshole? Because these people don't like to keep me in the loop? The roommate moved out less than a week before his rent is due. That was bullshit. And still to this time of this post hasn't paid his portion. That is true, but there's a reason why, because it's not the fucking 9th yet. Vince has had to run of certain utilities and sell his car. He never sold his car. That is a lie. That's bullshit.
Well,
and
hold on. We don't know if he sold his car at this time or not. We know that he planned on just getting rid of it.
No, I was there. He got rid of it.
Oh, he did get rid of it.
He did get rid of it.
Oh.
And he made 0 fucking dime off of that. He actually just gave it back to the fucking lien holder or the person that now bought his lien. And he gave it up, not paying off the fucking lien. Basically, he was just going to take the hit on his credit score and say, fuck them. And we were actually planning on using my my AAA to actually get that done. He never sold his car. That's a fucking lie. And go ahead, Vince, prove me wrong. Vince has had a run of certain utilities sell his car in order to keep a roof over his head. So basically, that was the last fucking line he said. So basically, he's full of shit. I'm sorry.
Just be clear, we're saying
that way, but my fucking God.
If I may, we're saying that Vince is doing lying, not the person repeating the things that.
Correct.
No, correct.
Okay.
Vince is the one doing the lie. The other person repeating it is just fucking gullible.
Okay.
So
that's why we wanted to keep this name out of the public eye, because it's not to bash this person.
Yeah, I actually don't give a fuck about this person. So yeah, I don't give a fuck about this person. That's not the problem. The problem here is that Vince was spewing bullshit to smear my name, and I'm not going to tolerate that fucking nonsense. Now, whether this was a light smear, according to other people, or as I consider a big one, because people are saying that I'm a piece of shit human being and I'm the reason why this dude's very close to being homeless right now, and now they have to go to the roommate's parents' house to even fucking live. I don't need that shit. I don't need that shit. I'm sorry I have to set the record straight this fucking way, but when they are outwardly and blatantly lying about me, I will not give them the joy of getting away with it. Fuck them with a rake, sideways, lubed with fire.
Right, you said they again. Is it they or he?
Well, it's he, and then it was perpetuated because they're gullible.
Yeah, perpetuated by a few other people that are gullible.
Here's the thing, JD. That person was contacted. Actually, they contacted Red before this went live.
Not fucking appropriate, by the way.
And by the end of that call, Red flat out asked, are you going to come clean with this? And the answer was a resounding no.
Yeah, they weren't going to do a goddamn thing. So you want to know something? I decided to say, test me and I'll do it for you. So that's what I did. They can't be honest, so I'm going to make them be honest. And that's basically the end of it.
So my personality type, even though this third party perpetuated the lie just through gullibility, once the full story was given to them and they still said no, they become a perpetuator of the lie intentionally.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's kind of all the information I need. I mean, that covers all the questions I had. You didn't have to answer any of them, so I appreciate that.
You're welcome. It's what you do when you're honest.
Honestly, I hope you guys just, after a month down the line, you guys patch this stuff up, because you guys were. I'm actually. As far as I tell, pretty good friends for a while. Hang
on. I will actually patch things up to him. But here's what has to be done. I am not going to be friends with a liar. Not going to fucking happen. Not doing it. I have to respect myself more than that shit. So if he comes out and says, you know what, Red, man to man, I fucked up. I'm sorry. If he apologizes to me and gives me the fucking apology that I deserve, then I will go ahead and patch things up with him. But if he's going to be a two-faced fucking bitch and lie about me to a bunch of people behind my back and not fucking get me, contact me on how I can fix the situation before it blows the fuck up on everybody, then fuck that guy. Because fuck that guy, right? Because fuck that guy. Because fuck that guy. Argumentum ad fuck that guy. And yes, I stole that from him.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go.
Thanks for coming by and actually hearing the other side of the story, JD.
No problem. Like, that's the thing is, I'm just having a hard time thinking of the unnamed person lying about anything, given what I know about them already.
It's like I said, the unnamed person got the lie from him, and they thought that was information that had to be out there as the initial reason to have the fundraiser, because it does draw a lot of sympathy when it's worded that way. Vincent was a victim. Yeah, according to that.
Right. Anyway, I get that. I don't want to go over it again. You can go over it again while I'm not here. I do get it though. So anyway, thanks again for having me on.
JD, have you asked him for a copy of the proof that he had to take out a loan?
I already have that in triplicate. I will send it to your office.
No, I'm serious. Has he really had to take out a loan?
Yeah. Was he lying? Again, I don't know. I have no idea.
Have him back up his bullshit.
Sorry, what?
Because when you sell a vehicle, there is paperwork exchange. Ask him to show you that paperwork. If there is, just start there. Start with the fucking car. Start with the fucking car. Show me the paperwork that shows you selling this car. So and I guarantee you that paperwork doesn't fucking exist.
Hang on 2 seconds, Red. One guy's claimed that he's in the hole so badly he's going to be homeless that he's taken a loan, he's got to go GoFundMe, and he sold his car. Another guy's claim is that he's $250 late in rent, and you choose the guy who's $250 late in rent to fucking harangue for the last hour. How does that make any sense?
I'm sorry, harangue?
That's actually a word.
Yeah, that's a word.
It's another version of kind of harass.
Today's word of the day.
I'm Australian. I speak a foreign language. I'm sorry.
Sorry, my 9-year-old's got a question. Go to bed. But yeah, good night. Harangue. I'm asking him some questions. I'm not going to go answer Vincent questions. Is that what you do? Red, have I horribly inconvenienced you, or do you need to lie down?
It might be what you do if you have crippling autism. It's not what normal people do.
And I believe the harangue was more in reference to the way you were acting in the chat prior to joining the hangout.
Oh, definitely. Everyone's a hard cunt in the peanut gallery. As soon as they get in the chat, they start to be normal.
But on this side, if you can.
Well, Red and I have hung out in person for a week or so. So I think we're good. Red, all right. You were able to handle the questions. Bash prompt. I'm gonna throw it just quick since you tried to come in. Well, my thing is, go fuck yourself, Bash Prompt. You were kind of a dick in the chat, and you're kind of a dick now, and I don't really want to talk to you no more, so I'll see you guys later.
I am completely a dick. That is my role here.
I don't think Bash is ever being a dick. And I will say, I will speak for myself, everyone. I'll speak for myself. Myself and JD are cool. I fucking hope. At least I'm cool with him. So we'll see what happens.
What kind of an abnormal cunt, though, comes after the person who's $250 in the claim versus the person who's multi-thousands of dollars? Where does that make sense? What level of autism do you have to have for that shit to make sense in your head?
Well, Bash, I actually have to give JD a shot on this too, because he was willing to come into the hangout. He was the only person to ask for actual
That's
evidence.
because he wanted the drama, dude. That's because he loves the drama. They're all coming in like fucking flies to shit because there's internet blood sports on an unscheduled platform. That's all it is.
Oh God, Bash! Thank you for reminding me why I heterosexually fell in love with you.
But it's true. It's true. That's the only reason they're here. That's the only reason that they're looking for blood in the fucking side chat, because there's drama and they love drama. It's none of their fucking business, man. If he had a claim against you, he'd take you to local court. It costs fucking $12 in the US to file in local court.
Anyway, obviously drama is part of, everyone's reason for being here. I mean, that's the reason why we have over 200 people fucking watching this shit. But I want to say that at least I am cool with JD. I will actually give JD a chance.
I will call out that Genius Tracks did say that JD didn't ever give us the other hangout.
Okay, JD lied to you guys when.
Yeah, he lied.
JD lied to you guys when. Otherwise he wouldn't have called you. Okay, so.
Well, it's the other comment about JD that I was worried about.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm never going to get this out, so let me try again. I will give JD a chance because I have no beef with JD. None whatsoever. He has always done right by me. And if I'm going to go ahead and just be fucking honest here, he actually let me spend the night at his place and gave me the master suite to a fucking mansion, and some magical shit happened that night. So yeah, JD's actually pretty fucking cool. At least to me.
He's a fucking snake, man. He's a snake.
Well, that may be true. That may be true. I am not going to deny that possibility, but I'm going to give him a chance to go ahead and go over it, and we'll see if he gets back to me.
So we're going to have another hangout in a month with fucking JD making claims that he's had to get a loan and stuff.
Now, JD didn't lie about the other hangout. He just never gave us where the other hangout was located at. He did snake it.
He also said there wasn't another hangout at one point.
Wait a minute, there was or there wasn't?
Well, JD said there was, and somebody else said that there wasn't.
Looks like I got a...
JD was saying there was another hangout he was listening to. Kevin said there wasn't another hangout that he was listening to. When asked for the hangout that he was listening to, because it initially came off like he was watching another live stream.
He had to mute the other hangout.
Yeah.
People ragging on Red.
But then he wouldn't say who was in it or hosting that one.
Right. And yes, he got away with never saying who it was or where it was at.
I mean, that's why I got JD in here, and so that I can go ahead and send him the fucking thing. And it's like, listen, but Vince said that you blocked him on literally everything. He can fucking call me. I fucking blocked Hannah on literally everything. That was a shitty breakup, but she still had the fucking ability to call me, which she actually fucking did. So like the fuck, being blocked like this, that's no excuse. I mean, come on.
It's faggotry. It's mass faggotry. That's all it is.
Okay, so a bit of correction. JD is admitting that he misspoke. Apparently, the hang on. Let me explain before you jump down, fucking throats here. And he gave me permission to read this out, which is great. And he goes, it's a non-issue. There's an off-air hangout discussing stuff, including the hangout going on right now. I originally said it was live and later found out it wasn't. Total non-issue. I didn't say who was in it or who was hosting it because I've been asked not to. It's okay. I already know who the fuck is involved.
Snake. Yeah. What a fucking.
I already know who the fuck is involved, and it probably has absolutely. I'm not going to go ahead and reveal who it is. Sorry.
I've got to admit, in my country, my country might be made up of spiders, right? We might not have cheese on everything, but there's one thing that Australia has that America doesn't, and that's a lot less fucktards like that guy, because they get their fucking jaw broken.
How do you an off-air hangout that you can't be watching unless you're part of it?
I have no idea. I think it's in that
minor detail.
It can be done.
Well, and
being a fucking liar.
Yeah, well, Red, remember part of the conversation we had, it was probably about a month ago now, maybe a little longer, about a particular person who ran away from here now. Yeah, I agree with you.
So yeah, he was part of that hangout, but okay, I can buy what he said then.
Yep, I'm asking him right now who is in the hangout, and we'll see if people can be fucking forward with it.
So he didn't mute the hangout; he literally left it to come and actually listen to what we were saying.
We would have had to have,
yeah, exactly,
to join our hangout. Yeah.
So, with all things being said like that, it's pretty clear who's the fucking liar in this and who's actually the little shithead in all of this. So,
oh, sorry.
Let's see.
Yes, the whole world is loaded with idiots. I just never thought that would be on the debunker side of the fence.
Okay.
Wait, really, Bash? It's okay to punch idiots down there? God damn it, I knew there was a reason why I loved it down there.
Okay, so I got confirmation.
When it comes to
I got confirmation for who's in the hangout. JD was like, I'm not going to mention it because they told me not to. I know exactly who plays that fucking game. Thank you, JD, for telling me. So, yeah, so I'm pretty well aware of what the fuck's going on for now. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make this perfectly fucking clear. I'm sorry that my channel had to be fucking smeared with this fucking nonsense, but I'm also going to go ahead and call out some shit that was being said. And you know what? I don't think I can.
No,
I don't think I can, because it's going to cause this other person fucking harm, and I don't want this other person to actually get harmed, but I really want to. I really fucking want to.
If you hadn't have brought this shit up, we wouldn't have exposed a bunch of idiots who are crippling autists.
Yes.
We would have accidentally befriended them and gone through these same mistakes.
Yeah, I've been making mental notes.
Yeah, it's a community fucking service.
Yeah, exactly. And I need to I need to make sure that this shit that's being spewed gets corrected. So for people who are watching, and I know a lot of you are, what is our account up to?
216 right now.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and donate to Vince's GoFundMe, go right the fuck ahead. I am not going to stop you. That's not going to be something that I do. I hope Vince gets a lot of donations. I really do. But before any of that, I ask that he be honest. I ask that he be honest, that he come clean and put this fucking shit right. That's what I want.
Yeah, so if rent was $750 a month. All right. 246. Yeah, $750 a month. Why is he asking for $1,500 on his line? Or no, he's asking for $1,800 on his GoFundMe.
He's asking for what?
$1,800. Let's just verify that, make sure I'm not wrong. Oh, $1,500. Yeah, $1,500.
I know he doesn't have a.
So that's 2 months worth of rent.
That's 2 months worth of rent. So 250.
Solo.
Yeah.
So that's a reasonable amount. I'll give him that.
Okay. So with that, okay. Anonymous is getting to me. This person's not going to be named, but thank you for keeping me in the loop on what's going on behind the scenes. It really means a lot. Eyes and ears everywhere. Okay. So I want to say thank you to that person that's keeping me in the loop, because if it wasn't for people like this looking out for me, I would have never found this fucking shit. But yeah, I will go ahead and agree with Bob. It is fraud. It is fucking fraud. It is fraud. If Vince needs $1,500 for whatever fucking reason, then God damn it, I hope he gets it. But the fact of the matter is that he needs to be honest about, you know, why he's needing this money and how he got himself into that situation. I was honest when I did my fundraiser. Shawn was more than fucking honest. and giving you guys constant updates and showing you and giving you thanks for all your generosity. This has been a shitty week for him. A shitty couple of days. And he has taken you along for the ride to show you exactly where your money is going. And there will be a thank you video coming up on that.
That kind of got interrupted for this.
That kind of got interrupted for this, which is another shitty thing, but I guess how could they have any control of that? So let me just hang on one second. Okay, so I'm just reading some private messages, guys. I apologize in advance. But Vince needs to be fucking honest on his GoFundMe. He needs to be clear as to what is being said. I was clear and I was honest with what I fucking needed in order to make ends meet when I had my car accident. Shawn Hufford was fucking honest when he said that there actually is no limit because every little bit counts for the time being. But after everything was said and done, we asked people to fucking stop. That's what honest people do when they are doing fundraising. They do not throw people under buses that don't fucking deserve it. They don't need that shit.
There doesn't need to be a made-up victim card.
There doesn't need to be a made-up victim card to try and generate donations. If this stops you guys from donating to that intellectually dishonest and just flat-out dishonest piece of shit, then god damn it, that's not what I fucking wanted.
I'm calling poisoning the well on that.
Yeah, you are?
Yes, I am calling poisoning the well on that statement. Better retract that.
Okay, retract it. I'm just gonna say he lied in this situation.
Yes.
Yeah, I just put the text in the internal chat of what his GoFundMe says now, and
that's not what it started out as.
I know, but it sounded really odd to me at the end of the first paragraph.
Okay, what if it was just okay? Speaking personally here, gonna say this. He fucking lied. That's a fact. He fucking lied about everything that was said in that post that was made. That's a fact. I have screenshots to prove that that was a fact. Made it very fucking clear that these screenshots can be given to people who don't fucking believe me. And screenshots will be given to people who...
Triple X ill. Losing a roommate is reason enough. No need for the full story. Yes, I would actually agree with that. My roommate moved out. It put me in some financial hardship without the extra income. Could you guys please help me? That is actually acceptable. It's something people can get behind. They didn't have to make up the fucking story.
They didn't have to throw me under the bus. In fact, in that case, how you phrase it right now, less is more.
Yes.
Less is fucking more in this case. You don't need to make up a bullshit story.
No, well, it's like I said earlier. If it had just said, I'm in a bind, I fucked up, I need help.
Exactly. See, I have no idea who the fuck Scott is, but he even knows, yeah, Red didn't have gap coverage. And that's true. I was fucking honest about that shit. I didn't have gap coverage. So there you go. That's how this shit is supposed to play out. That's the reason why I was in a financial fucking hole right now. I mean, god damn it, guys. So, with all this stuff being said and all the shit going on, I just want people to know that I legit hope that Vincent Jones gets what he needs to make ends meet. Fucking fantastic. But one thing I am going to do is I'm going to call his lie. I paid my rent. I was an excellent fucking roommate. And what he needs to do is be the bigger fucking man and apologize. He needs to apologize not only to me, but he needs to apologize for all of you for the fucking lies that were spread. For throwing me under the bus and making you guys believe, or at least starting out making you guys believe, that I was the reason for his financial hardship. That's not how this shit is supposed to go down. That is what I'm asking him to do. I will go ahead and make a Google Hangout so that we can do it publicly or privately. So Vince, I know you're listening right now. You're probably listening with a bunch of people. And so this story is not just for you, this offer is not just for you, but this offer is so that other people can hear it as well. I want other people to hear this offer that I'm making you. If you fucking call me, whether publicly or privately and just say man-to-man, Red, I fucked up and I'm sorry. All this can be water on the bridge. I'll take down this fucking hangout, and then we can go ahead and start correcting posts that have been made online. And if anything, I'll even fucking promote your GoFundMe. But until
that's bribery. No,
don't even fucking do that.
No, I mean, water under the bridge is fine and all, but he was in the wrong on this one.
Okay.
If people want to support him with this GoFundMe, yeah. But if for you to support him on that after what he did, I can't see that. That's me personally. He did you wrong. Don't give him that.
It can come off as bribery. It can also come off as...
Because that would give him a reason to call you. Oh, if I call him, he'll help my GoFundMe.
I see.
After he did this. No, I don't agree with that.
I actually think Sean's in the right... Well, I got to ask people. I'm going to give it to you guys, the live chat, to help me out with this one. So, guys, I want you to go ahead and post. We're going to read this slowly. What would you guys do if you were in my situation? What would you guys do if you were in my situation? How would you go about handling the situation? I want to know your guys' opinions. I can go ahead and just leave this hangout up.
How is it blackmail, not an idiot?
How is that blackmail?
Defamation of character that has been brought to the public eye is not blackmail.
Yeah, that's something that others were saying before this started, was that this hangout was blackmail, and it's no, this hangout was setting the record straight, for one, and two...
Hold on, not an idiot. He's going even further down the rabbit hole. He says bribery is paying him. If he holds a fundraiser for Vincent on the condition that Vincent calls him to put us all behind him, that is bribery. He will be making money for making a phone call.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. So fuck that. I actually retract that. Reds, you have a lot of friends. You don't need him. I fucking agree with you. That's why I've cut him out of my life.
Just to clarify, it's not bribery, it's not blackmail, it's not even wrongful enrichment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
none
there's
of the elements are there for any of them.
I was about to say there is no legal precedent preventing you from making that offer. It's not like you are a government official offering some sort of benefit in return for a kickback.
The whole point of the apology and the phone call for the apology is to set things right. There shouldn't be rewards for doing it. There shouldn't be penalties for not doing it. There's none of that. It's just, I want a fucking apology.
True, fair enough.
If Vincent was to actually do that, then he would actually show a little bit of fucking backbone and character.
Yeah. Basically, by showing backbone and character, there'll be no actual reason to have this hangout up. At that point, it becomes moot.
Moot. Not mute.
No. I fucking ran out of breath because you're fucking smoking and shit around it.
Well, let me let another one.
God damn it, fuck you.
That was actually sorry, Sean, I got you in trouble for that.
Oh god, fucking smoke. This guy smokes like a goddamn chimney.
I had problems with climbing up that fucking cliff. I'm spreading that wonderful feeling to you.
Also, remember that there's entire business models out there that rely on paying people for drama. If you've got shit with someone and you're going to stand to make $10,000 off a video, getting millions of hits, you contact the person you got grief with and say, look, I'll give you $1,500, $2,000. You come in here, we beat you up a bit, we call it a day. And it happens. It happens a lot on YouTube.
And just to point out once again, this hangout would have never happened if the apology was given before it happened. That's all Red wanted, wasn't a fucking apology.
Yeah. And they had the option, either give the apology or wait until I blow the lid off their fucking lie. And they chose to let me blow the lid off their fucking lie. That's not blackmail. Look, I have every right to defend myself, and I will defend myself if you give me a reason to defend myself. If I no longer have that fucking reason, then great.
Sean, are you one of the 3 smokestacks? No, I'm 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them bitches. So, yeah, if Vince would have came up and fucking, apologized to me, then there would be no reason for this fucking hangout. That was what was being said before this hangout actually went live. I gave him an opportunity. I said, you guys need to fucking correct this shit. And unfortunately, they decided not to. And you want to know what? I'm not taking that shit anymore. I'm done being the fucking nice guy. I'm done with it. I am fucking done with it.
Oh, Heavy has an answer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hey, to answer at Red's red question, accept an apology, drop the matter, but not be friends for a good while, if ever. Perhaps Vince will show he is trustworthy in the future.
But here's the problem.
I agree.
It's been flat out said there will be no apology.
Well, no. Hang on, I have to correct you there. It's been said that there was no apology from this other person.
Oh, okay.
I did not speak to Vince. So this other person, I'm not going to allow them to speak on Vince's behalf of this matter right here.
I will stand corrected on that then.
Yeah. So if Vince were to give me a shout right now, I will answer the fucking phone. He has the ability to call me and apologize for this fucking bullshit. So if he apologizes, and he says, you know what, man to man, I fucked up, and let that be that. I will accept the apology, and I will go ahead and put this shit behind me so we can all move on with our fucking lives, and he can have his GoFundMe and do whatever the fuck he wants. I really don't give a shit at this point. But until that happens, and until those fucking posts are removed, you know, that kind of shit, I have every right to defend myself, and I will defend myself with this fucking hangout. And if people don't fucking like it, well, then suck a fat one. You can go ahead and be friends with a fucking liar. I don't give a shit. But I will not lie down and fucking take it just because it's going to hurt your guys' fucking feelings. Fuck off with this shit. God damn it. So, with that, any final things that you would like to say?
I've said it all in the hangout.
Said it all in the hangout. Jared, what say you?
Everything I've had to say has been covered either by you guys or myself.
All right. And Bash, what about you? What say you on anything? Anything that you would like to say?
I have nothing to say. 5 words.
Yeah.
Got to speak up.
Gotta speak up, dude.
Sorry, I was smoking and petting a cat. I said I have nothing to say. 5 words.
All right, good.
Well, I would have Red do is, you know, say what you got to say and get the fuck out. But since, you know, I'm hosting the hangout here, I can't.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it on this. I'm gonna end it on a personal message to 3 individuals. I call them the 3 fucketeers. You know who you guys are. 3 people. 3 people. I'm not going to say your guys' name, but you know who you fucking are. One of them, I actually spoke to you earlier today. So you know who you fucking are. Let me be really fucking clear. Get the fuck out of my life. Don't ever call me again unless it's to apologize and to admit that you fucked up. I want nothing to do with you. I don't want to have anything to do with you ever the fuck again. Leave me the hell alone and get my fucking name out of your throat. It doesn't belong there. I think I have made myself perfectly fucking clear. If you have any trouble understanding that bit, get someone who is smart, who doesn't have their fucking head up their ass to translate it for you. With that, this hangout is fucking over. Peace the fuck out, bitches.